afternoon and welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. The tribunal hearing cases emanating from the National and State House of Assembly elections in Ekiti State had started its substantive hearing. First to be heard is the case between Tony Adeniyi challenging the victory of Abiodun Olujimi at the Ekiti South senatorial election. Adeniyi and the APC called for the disqualification of Olujimi for not resigning her position as a non-executive member of the Nigeria Communications Commission while she contested. Rashid has more. We'll bring you that report later in our bulletin. Senate President Bukola Saraki is convinced that the 8th National Assembly would pass the Petroleum Industry Bill. He gave the assurance while receiving the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Jameson Wistu, in Abuja. The Senate President said the onus is on the present crop of leadership to find a way around the bill as well as put a system in place to block leakages in revenue.
It's the second high-profile diplomatic visit to the National Assembly in a week. U.S. Ambassador James Entwistle is on a visit to the Senate President as part of steps to have an insight into the legislative agenda of the new leadership. He expressed America's readiness to partner Nigeria in areas of common interest, but also wants to have an insight into the plans of the new government at a time of great expectations.
The United States, just as we have always had fruitful, good relations with all governments of Nigeria, we stand ready to do the same with this administration. Our relations are already close on many different areas, and my task is to work with all of you to make them even closer. I'd be very interested as you begin your work, as you begin the legislative agenda, to hear what are the priorities for you as you look at the challenges facing the country. And of course there are many, but as I always say, I'm deeply optimistic about this country.
In response, the Senate President made it clear that the Petroleum Industry Bill, which had been in the Assembly since 2008, would be given priority attention under his watch.
Yesterday we met with one of the oil companies, and it's clear that we must find a way to tackle this bill that's been very evasive, the PIB bill.
It's had a very long life.
And I think we must bring it to rest. And I think that's a general belief of my colleagues, that we have to be creative and find a way to ensure that we move quickly, because that sector needs to be addressed. Also, we've got to also look at the sector of how do we make the Nigeria business friendly and more friendly for business and for investment, and look at some of the laws that will ensure competition, will ensure investment. We look to that sector. We want to do that.
He also spoke about the lawmakers' readiness to ensure that all loopholes for revenue leakages are blocked.
And a greater oversight, particularly on budget and budget processes, to ensure that one of our challenges, as you know, is the issue of revenues and the fact that we still have severe number of leakages here and there. And we think that we need to try and plug majority of these leakages, try and ensure that we put a system in place to ensure that we can push up our revenue levels to meet some of the challenges.
The Senate President also assured the Americans that under the new government, Nigeria would continue to be attractive to investment opportunities, especially as the country seeks to diversify its revenue base.
A federal high court in Abuja has fixed September 21 to hear a suit challenging the qualification of Femi Gbajabiamila to hold a seat in the House of Representatives. The suit was filed by a rights group, Social Justice and Civil Rights Awareness Initiative, which had earlier made a failed bid to get the court to stop the former minority leader from aspiring for the position of House Speaker. Defense counsel Femi Adedeji told the court that the matter had become an academic exercise since the election had been concluded and a winner emerged. But plaintiff counsel Michael Zekome insisted that Gbajabiamila is not fit to be a member of the House on the grounds that he was convicted in the states of Georgia in the U.S. for unethical practices and was barred for 36 months. The presiding judge, Justice Abdul Kafarati, who heard the matter in his chamber, asked the plaintiff counsel to file a written address in support of his originating summons.
We are challenging is very membership of the House of Representatives, and of course together that it should not be allowed to contest, but that won't happen come and gone. The challenge to the membership remains extant, valid, and subsisting. And what the court has done today is to say that we should file a written address in support of the originating summons because the rules do not compel us to file. We should file. Then they themselves should also file their own written address at whatever documents they think they have, so that we are doing actually house cleaning, housekeeping, so that when all the papers are in, then the fireworks will start, the real legal battle will.
Accepting the nomination of this political party, pending the determination of the case. Well, we are thinking they will withdraw that motion, as the same thing has become academic today. But they want to react to our processes that were filed. So in the light of that, the court has decided to take the whole suit with the motion all together. So the matter has been adjourned to the 21st of September.
Nigeria can be the leading economy in Africa and among the top 20 in the world if it can overcome the challenges of leadership. This came to light in a seminar which focused on Africa's Big Five with the title Power and Influence in Africa. Census among 5 African countries, including Algeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and South Africa, shows that over 60% of Africa's economy is on its population power. Amina Nebi has more on the story from our studios.
The Executive Director of Institute for Security Studies, ISS, South Africa, Jackie Chida, said with the possible exception of Nigeria, African countries will remain minor powers in issues of global governance.
It's much easier for Nigeria and for Ethiopia to grow rapidly because you come off a much lower base. The major factor at the level of development that most poor countries in Africa the most important factor that improves your economy is in actual fact the move from people from subsistence agriculture to urban areas.
Speaking on the importance of the seminar to newsmen, Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai said the government is committed to driving a workable economy.
It is quite clear the trajectory of Nigeria, if we remain on course and do the right things, we are going to be the most influential economy in Africa and among the top 20 economies in the world. I think it's a positive message, but we shouldn't confuse potential with reality. We need to keep working hard and doing the right things.
It is a very, very educative and enlightening seminar, and I believe that we have learned a lot. And of course, from what the presenter had presented, we have a lot more to do in Nigeria to get to the level that we're projecting for our country.
Major thing is the leadership. Africa, you know, we are back simply because our leaders has failed us. So I'm 100% sure with this new government in Nigeria, we will see how we can change.
There is a new horizon now, new government coming in, lots of expectations, and we believe with organizing events like this nature, bringing expertise, rubbing minds, really is creating a lot of awarenesses and a kind of a wake-up call to all the people that are going to be in charge, right from the government, local government level up to the national level.
Commenting the effort of the organizer, Senator Kambis Geya believed the high-profile personalities at the event will attract investment for its sustainable growth in Nigeria.
Well, it's excellent. It's somebody who is an experienced man, Aliyu Gusau, is trying to put his wealth of experience in trying to portray a good governance. And good governance means progress for Nigeria. A good governance means redirecting Nigeria. And General Buhari came now with change. So we want to change corruption, we want to change indiscipline, we want to make sure Nigerians are committed to the interests of Nigeria. And I think General Gusau is on course on what the Nigeria wants to be.
Though with a projection that Africa will contribute only about 7% to global influence by 2040, the Big Five powerhouse of the continent can shape the future of Africa given their size and population.
The United States says it has always been committed to assisting Nigeria wage a successful war against insurgency. U.S. Ambassador to the country, Jameson Winston, reaffirmed this position on the sidelines of a court call on Senate President Bukola Saraki in Abuja. He maintained that no country has done more to partner Nigeria in fighting insurgency than the U.S.
I can't think of anything we could do that we're not already doing. I think, I'm sorry? Oh, that's just a small part of what we're doing. I hope you've been paying attention for the last few years. No friend and partner is doing more to help this country in the fight against Boko Haram than we are. We're ready to talk to the new administration about expanding other things we can do, but our sleeves have been rolled up. We've been helping in the fight against Boko Haram for years now. That will continue. I can assure you of that.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode says his administration is prepared to ensure 24-quality healthcare delivery to residents of the state at a minimal cost by partnering relevant local and foreign organizations. Ambode disclosed this while hosting members of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation at the State House, Ikeja. The governor says institutionalizing a formidable primary health care facility at every ward in the state remains top priority for the state government. Speaking on behalf of Bill and Belinda Foundation, Carlos Cuella noted that the purpose of the visit is to provide technical assistance to Lagos that will strengthen the existing healthcare system in the state.
In Lagos here, you already have a winning partner. Because our main focus is to bring healthcare delivery to our people with the minimal cost. In the face of dwindling financial revenue for the country, obviously it's also going to affect Lagos State. It's very clear that no matter how much we do on our budgetary provisions, we also need complementary efforts for multilateral agencies and donors, and even private sector stakeholders.
We are proposing is to enter into a partnership that will not just aim at improving gradually the primary healthcare system, but to address the root causes and to produce a transformation, which in this case means to move the current level of the primary healthcare system to a higher and more performing level in an irreversible manner.
A federal high court in Lagos has given the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission the go-ahead to prosecute 14 foreigners for illegal oil bunkering. Justice Ibrahim Buba issued the order when he dismissed an application filed by the foreigners seeking to quash a fourth-count charge preferred against them on the basis that the prosecution did not secure and obtain a written contents of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, in line with the provisions of the Exclusive Economic Zone Act of Nigeria. In his ruling, Justice Buba said that the court did not find any merit in their application. Earlier, the EFCC, through its counsel, Rotimi Oyedepo, opposed the application by arguing that it was statutorily empowered to prosecute the alleged offenders. Justice Rifa Ophelia Jumogobi of the Federal High Court in Lagos State has deferred judgments in the case of the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, till July 1, 2015. She told the court on Thursday that she could not deliver judgments in the case as earlier scheduled due to the absence of the lead prosecution counsel, Festus Keyamo. This was after prosecution counsel Festus Afie had announced Keyamo's absence due to his involvement in another matter where he was standing in as a witness. Justice Ajumogobi turned down the defense counsel's plea to stand down the matter till later in the day and consequently adjourned judgment to July 1, 2015. Fani-Kayode is facing trial on a 2-count charge of laundering about 100 million naira while he was the Minister of Culture and Tourism and later as Minister of Aviation. The police authorities have washed their hands off attempts to drag them into issues surrounding the extradition battle between Senator Buruji Kashamu and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. This was after a national newspaper had given indication that the police had allegedly been informed that there was no case against the Ogun East senator. But police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu is emphatic that the letter from the British High Commission does not derogate from the extradition request by the U.S. authorities, which is pending with relevant departments and agencies of government in Nigeria. He added that the police only sought confirmation from the British authorities on the status of Prince Kashamu's legal battles in the United Kingdom, based on a letter from the senator's lawyers. You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take a break now. I'll be back with my stories. Please stay with us.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that should be consulted.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it's just about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power. In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
For more news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. Follow us on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. Cult activities in Owerri, the Imo State capital, is fast becoming a trend among the youth. The Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, has condemned it in strong terms, while calling on parents to watch their children and watch closely. CoreTV News, Ajibade Abufeso brings you more reports in these details.
Shortly after the arrest made by the Imo State Police Command of some 25 cult members, 3 students of Emmanuel College, Owerri, was apprehended by the operatives of the Department of State Security in cult-related cases. The commander, however, stated the essence of the arrest and those involved.
Emmanuel College, the first one is Madoma Ibope. He is 14 years old and JSS 3 students of Emmanuel College. And the main person who is with Okorie Chige Mezu, 22 years old, is an student of Emmanuel College and belongs to Black Axe, and currently in Kenya. Then Samuel Unyagocha, 40 years old, JSS student of Emmanuel College. He was about to be initiated and then was caught.
Governor Rochas Okorocha, who had rolled out a free education policy in the state, expressed his shock at the developments.
Some of them have senior people in the university, in mechanic workshops that get involved in this. This young man here is a mechanic. Court destroyed his life. He could not continue with school. He couldn't go to university because of court activities. Now he's a mechanic. And he's the one that brought this fellow here, his younger brother, into court activities. So this is not good for children, it's not good for society, it's not good for this nation. And we must do all we can to stop these court activities. And we're going to take stringent measures now in all schools.
The governor has outrightly condemned the engagement of the student in cult activities. Okorocha also called on parents to watch their children and wards closely, lest they become agents of destruction.
To daily check what their children do. Because the SSS, the security people cannot do much if the parents will not approve. So my appeal will be that the parents should watch keep a close touch with their children, discuss with them on a daily basis, and help them out to grow. This could be a medical doctor, this could be an engineer, this could be a pilot, but life is waste. It's sick. Thank you.
The governor also called on the people of Imo State to work hand in hand with the security operatives in the hope that cult activities will soon be eradicated from the state. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Notorious cannabis dealer in Lagos had been sentenced twice in 2 days at the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos. A 30-year-old convict, Afis Issa, also known as Agama, who resides at the Ketoga Street, Meron, Lagos, had been sentenced to 8.5 years. He was first sentenced to 18 months imprisonment for dealing in 29 kg of dried wheat that tested positive for cannabis by Justice C.J. Aneke on Monday, June 15, 2015. 2 days later, on Wednesday, June 17, 2015, his matter was brought before Justice Okwen Abang over unlawful dealing in 3.9 kg of cannabis and was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. NDLA prosecutor Jeremiah Ernan informed the court that the accused was not a first offender, as he was sentenced 2 days ago by another court for dealing in cannabis. On his part, the convict pleaded guilty and begged for forgiveness. He says he's married with children and wants to be with his family. Not satisfied with his appeal, Justice Abang in his ruling said the convict did not deserve mercy. In a bid to address the perennial traffic gridlock in Lagos, Governor Kumi Ambode has directed the relocation of bus stops from markets in the metropolis. Ambode gave the directive while moving round traffic-prone areas in the state. Abiola Oluwole has more on the story, presented from our studios.
Being the nation's economic nerve center, Lagos has a peculiar challenge of traffic gridlock due to high population. The visit of Governor Ambode to traffic-prone areas is in accordance with the promise of reducing avoidable loss of man-hours due to traffic bottleneck made during a meeting with the leadership of the State Traffic Management Authority. Addressing the media after visiting Mile 12 Iyanoworo and toll gate bus stops in Koshofe local government, Pen Cinema in Agege, Abule Egba and Iyana Ipaja in Alimosho, Ambode says government is working to relocate some bus stops as a way of providing solution to the traffic situation across the metropolis.
We must start to have solutions to our traffic challenge in Lagos State, and that's what we're doing.
The governor has also approved the construction of pedestrian bridge at Bega End along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Bega needs a footbridge, and immediately, the engineers are going to go to work and make sure that we'll put something there. Beyond that, we don't want any traffic on that highway.
Substantiating the governor's stance, the permanent secretary of the State Ministry of Transportation, Oluseyi Koka, and the general manager, Lagos Public Works, Ayotunde Sodende, relevant agencies have been directed to effect the change.
He directed that we should not allow bus stops very near markets, and we have looked at it, and personally, together, he has looked and pointed to places where we could get all these bus stops. So and also that in a manner that the people will not be punished.
We are going to start work, let's say, as from Monday. We are not going to work during the day so that we will not obstruct traffic. We are going to work during the night, and we have a lot of gangs that will attend to all these situations. Very soon, you will see us in action, and you will see what they call a new phase of public works.
Addressing traffic gridlock has been a recurring challenge of successful government in Lagos State. Therefore, exploring ways of tackling this challenge by the current administration in a humanly friendly manner will be one of the expectations of residents. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Young women in Nigeria have been charged to rise above the circumstances in the society and aspire to be leaders in all spheres of life. The Executive Director, Young Stars Foundation, Kingsley Bangwell, challenged women to be more active in the political sphere and other leadership platforms. CoreTV News, Omotayolo has more. Ekiti State, according to statistics, have been ranked as the second poorest in the country, and with in attendance natural resources like mountains as tourist centers. Mountains in Rio Ekiti West local government area is famously known for its spiritual enclaves where Christians throng to and fro. But beyond this, the number of visitors to these mountains appears to be begging for government attention to look beyond and create a viable source of revenue for the state. Our correspondent Rashid, who visited the mountain, has more in this report.
The names given to states in Nigeria are derived from various features of such states, and Ekiti State is no exception. Literally, Ekiti means mountain, thus becoming the name of present-day Ekiti State. The state is endowed with different sizes and types of rocks. Rio Ekiti, one of the most popular mountain sites, it's known for Christians coming for prayers. In reality, the Rio Mountain, though having hectic time to navigate, there is full life going on at the mountain top. Houses have sprung up, while some have come to stay, making a permanent abode.
I'm one of the coordinator of this mountain. It means I'm the prophet of this mountain.
Okay, so you come around here to do what?
God sent me to this place, so to be bless people and to be praise the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ.
But beyond these prayer warriors, some are there for meditation and recreation.
A lot of people really recreating, in the way I think the concept of recreation, really intended it to be, quiet, concentration, peace. Even you had some birds, taking the branches often to sing for you, and you can concentrate, and that allows you for meditation, such other things as will be, enhancing spiritually for you.
Ekiti State, bountifully blessed with rocks, is expected to account as revenue generation, but the government says all will be done to harness this.
Religious tourism is everywhere across the world. The Hindu shrines, people go there to recreate for their own religious denomination. The Christians travel, Muslims go to Mecca. This is a Mecca for Christians.
There are some investors who have approached us in Ekiti. These rocks we are looking at, they are potential raw material for production of floor tiles. They are there abundantly, giving a kind of peaceful atmosphere. We'll be able to tap into some of these abundant resources that are lying down.
In the face of economic hardship faced by states struggling to pay workers' salaries, it might be a good time to look inwards and have alternative measures to generate funds, and mountains in Ekiti may serve this purpose. Rashid, CoreTV News, Area Ekiti.
Benin Airport will be closed for commercial flight activities by Saturday, and the closure may last for up to 3 weeks. Benin Airport is one of the oldest in the country, according to an official who refused speaking on camera. The reason for this is to enable the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria to carry out an all-round maintenance of the airport. Our Edo State correspondent reports that the airport was barely a flurry of activities following the news. Most workers will likely be temporarily unengaged for the period. The official said the Benin Airport will close from the 20th of June till the 17th of July 2015. Efforts to get the airport's manager Ayodele Sunday to speak on camera concerning the matter was proved abortive, as he claimed that they were to be briefed. Information has it that the maintenance is for the rehabilitation of the runway to ease flight landing and takeoff. The Benin Airport's main building was last renovated 3 years ago, with some parts already wearing off. All flight activities would now be moved to Warri or Asaba Airport, pending when repairs are over. Would you apologize for the poor sound quality of that video? Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has urged Muslims faithful to use the Ramadan period to pray for Nigeria. He said this in a goodwill message to Muslims at the commencement of the month-long fast. Speaker Dogara also noted the promise of change by the new government can only be realized if Nigerians rededicate themselves to the service of God and humanity. Meanwhile, as Muslims begin their month-long fasting period, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on them to pray for the peace of the country. He also wants Muslim leaders to attack the roots of terrorism by attacking their ideology. This, he says, is because of the prevailing violence, which is disrupting social and economic life of people in some parts of the country. In a statement released by his media office in Abuja on Wednesday, the former vice president said he was constantly saddened by the frequent explosion of conflicts and violence, which pose threats to the country's peace. He wants Muslim leaders to intensify efforts to eliminate the influence of extremists, while also calling on political leaders to show extra vigilance to stem the growth of extremism. In addition, the former vice president called for urgent action to shield innocent Muslim disciples from influences of extremist teachers who might exploit their ignorance to push them into criminal atrocities. Prominent Islamic cleric wants Muslim faithful to uphold the teachings of Prophet Muhammad as the month-long Ramadan fasting begins. Some of them who spoke with CoreTV News in Abuja maintain that the general rules governing the period must also become part of the daily lives of Muslims. They insist that faithfuls should seize the opportunity to earnestly seek God and pray for national peace.
You can be conscious of your God so that you can get closer to your God, so that your soul can be purified, so that your thinking, your action, your reaction, your inaction will be godly, and you'll be conscious of God in everything which you do. You will not be in a position that what belongs to thousands of people, now you garner it for yourself. that as a Muslim you will not do it. You will not tell lie. You will not commit obscene things that are prohibited by God. We all know what is good and what is bad. Everything that is not good during the month of Ramadan, you learn to avoid it. Not just avoiding it in the month of Ramadan, you learn to avoid it.
Fasting is prescribed for Muslims, for them to be God-fearing. لَأَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you people you may fear Almighty Allah. So, going by the context of the fast, Muslims are expected to be God-fearing during and after the Ramadan. Now I want to use this medium to advise Muslims. We all know that Al-Quran was referred to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the month of Ramadan. So we should read as many as possible. That is Al-Quran. You read Al-Quran as many as possible because it is highly rewarding. That is the recitation of Al-Quran.
You're still watching CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another quick break and I'll be back on my stars. Please join us again.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And outside Nigeria, police in South Carolina now have in custody the suspect who shot sporadically at worshippers during a Bible study at a historic African-American church in Charleston Wednesday evening. The suspect, 21-year-old Darlene Roof, shot and killed 9 people, including Reverend Clemenster Pinkney. Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church has been a presence in Charleston since 1816. Meanwhile, American President Barack Obama, in a live broadcast monitored by CoreTV News, mourned the death of the victims, stressing that such mass shooting does not happen in other advanced countries. Obama also said that he has had to commiserate too many times and particularly has had to plead with communities to endure tragedies like this too many times. Also, the Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush canceled the scheduled town hall in Charleston on Thursday because of the shooting. U.S. President Barack Obama has offered his warmest greetings to Muslims all over the world, even as the holy month of Ramadan began on Thursday. Obama, in his address, noted that Islamic fasting month is a time to reinforce faith, compassion, forgiveness, and perseverance. He also used the opportunity to reiterate America's commitment to building a more secure and peaceful world, given this as a reason for his government's responsibly ending the war in Iraq and for isolating violent extremists while empowering the people in places like Afghanistan and Pakistan. Obama also stated his commitment to a new beginning between America and Muslims around the world, admonishing that the diversity and patriotism of different religious communities gives strength to all and the freedom to worship a constant reminder of the values shared by all.
Ramadan, on behalf of the American people, including Muslim communities in all 50 states, I want to extend best wishes to Muslims in America and around the world. Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan is the month in which Muslims believe the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, beginning with a simple word, Iqra. It is therefore a time when Muslims reflect upon the wisdom and guidance that comes with faith, and the responsibility that human beings have to one another and to God. All of these efforts are aimed at advancing our common aspirations, to live in peace and security, to get an education and to work with dignity, to love our families, our communities, and our faith.
Denmark's general election held today, one which opinion polls suggest is on a knife edge, as the center-left coalition of Prime Minister Helle Thorning-Schmidt and the center-right opposition led by ex-Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen appear to be neck and neck. The island's fishing community is still angry at Thorning-Schmidt for bearing its boat from Danish ports in a 2013 dispute over alleged overfishing, although it is believed that in reality, the economic rather than macro quotas tend to swing elections Tonan's Social Democratic Party had staged a remarkable comeback in recent weeks as Danish finances improve. A poll released on Tuesday for the centre-left bloc, the Social Democrats, and their four coalition partners. The centre-right bloc, led by Ramazan on 49.9, either Tonan Schmidt and Ramazan's parties could win the most seats, only to find themselves the loser if the other can muster a larger coalition. A social media platform, Netflix, has paid $16 million for the rights to release its War Machine, as the streaming service is always on the hunt for premium content for their subscribers. War Machine is based on the novel The Operators, the wild and the terrifying inside story of America's war in Afghanistan by author Michael Hastings, as Peter set star as General Stanley. McAllister, the commander of the U.S. and international troops in Afghanistan, who mocked Obama officials, including Joe Biden, in a 2010 Rolling Stone piece by Hastings. Afterwards, McAllister was forced to resign. As for Pete, he recently starred in the World War II drama Fury and continues to produce films through his Plan B banner. In addition to War Machine, the A-lister is preparing for the release of By the Sea, a film in which he co-stars with his wife Angelina Jolie, who also directed the project. And in the world of sports, Lionel Messi will play his 100th match for Argentina on Saturday against Jamaica in the Copa America, but it will be a century marked by too many tears and no titles for the Barcelona superstar. Messi, Sergio Aguero and Carlos Tevez and the rest of the Argentina squad have been sent across the hands on a mission to end 22 years without a major title since the country won the Copa America in 1993. Well, it's down to business as the Women's World Cup as the knockout round gets underway Saturday, with top-ranked Germany and former runner-up China both in action. Germany, winners in 2003 and 2007, take on Sweden in the opening last 16 clash in Ottawa, with China next up against ambitious African newcomers Cameroon in Edmonton. Previous results are all forgotten now, including Germany's 10-0 hammering of Ivory Coast, or Sweden struggles to advance in a one-off free-for-all. What has happened before doesn't really matter now, because this is where it really starts, said Germany coach Silver Nerd. You won't be given 10 opportunities. You have to seize the 2 or 3 you get. You have to concentrate and be cool in the last 16 or go home. For the wraps up on CoreTV News 4, thank you for watching. Good afternoon.